Thinking about buying a car in 2026 and don't know how much you can afford. Think once, think twice, or even three times. You likely can't afford it because the average retail price of a car in 2026 is now over $51,000. That's not luxury or upgraded, it's just the normal price now. So let me ask you something. If the average car costs $51,000, how much money do you actually need to afford it? Because most people aren't even close. They don't realize it until it's too late. In this video, I will show you how to find out how much money you need to make in order to afford a car responsibly. And make sure to watch until the end because I will give you a formula on how to calculate this for yourself. So please help me out by gently tapping the like and subscribe buttons as I am trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Let's get into it. There's something called the payment illusion, which is when people walk into a dealership asking themselves one deadly question: what's the monthly payment? They're focused on the monthly payment because if it feels manageable, it feels affordable. But that's the trap. Let's run the numbers on an average car today in the US, which costs $51,000. If you put a 10% down, that is $5,100 gone immediately. Then you'll need to take a loan of about $45,900. And unless there is a promotional event, the annual interest will likely be about 6.8% for a duration of 5 years. This means you will be paying approximately $900 per month. And right here is where most people will say, okay, I can do that. But the car doesn't stop costing you after the payment. Because most people forget to estimate the cost of owning the car. That's where reality hits. Because the cost of ownership on a monthly basis adds up significantly. You're going to need to purchase insurance, which is approximately $200 per month. Then you will need to pay for gas, which will cost approximately $150 per month. And how about maintenance for when the car needs servicing? This will cost approximately $75 per month. Now your $900 car is actually more than $1,300 per month. Stop for a second and think about that. That's over $15,000 a year. Just to drive, not to invest, not to grow your net worth. Here's where things start to feel a little uncomfortable, because once you see the real cost to own a car, you can't unsee it. So now the question becomes, what income actually supports $1,300 a month without stress? Let's bring in some structure to help us calculate this. And to do this, we can apply what we call the 24-10 rule. 20% down, 4-year loan, 10% of your income on car costs. What this means is you should put down at least 20% when you first purchase the car, loan for no more than 4 years, and the monthly cost should be less than 10% of your monthly income. Now apply the 24-10 rule to the average $51,000 car in 2026. This would mean you need a $10,200 down payment, translating to approximately $1,170 per month total. So to keep the monthly cost within 10%, you will need to make about $140,000 per year. That's right. You need to make well into the six figures to responsibly own a car in 2026. Let that sink in. This is not a luxury car, just an average car. So do you make $140,000 per year? If not, don't be a fool like your friends on Instagram. Thank me later. Now let's make this even more real, because most people avoid this truth about owning a car. The median household income in the US is around $80,000. At that level, this car does not fit your life, at least not without clear trade-offs. And those trade-offs usually mean you end up saving less, investing less, and feeling stuck month after month after month. And this is how we have foolish people working harder, but not actually moving forward. But what about those dealerships that let you avoid the down payment because you can just finance it? Guess what? Huge mistake. Never skip the down payment. Doing this costs you significantly, because a zero down payment would mean you're paying $1,000 per month instead of a 20% down payment and paying $800 per month. While that's only $200 per month difference. This means you lose $12,000 to interest. And this isn't even including the hidden costs that quietly destroy your wealth. Because even if you've followed everything so far, there's still one more layer, which is overlooked by nearly everyone. Right when you buy that car at the dealership, you will also get hit with approximately $3,500 in taxes, dealership fees of up to $1,500, and any add-ons you want, which will cost another $3,000. So remember that car you thought will cost you $51,000. Now it's really closer to $60,000. And if you add the yearly costs of insurance, gas, and maintenance. That total cost over 5 years now means the car will cost you over $80,000. And this is how millions of Americans are destroying their finances every year. They buy cars, finance at high interest rates, and don't calculate the hidden costs of ownership that make the car a lot more expensive than you originally thought. Quick side note, I previously made a video about how cars are secretly killing your journey to building your rich life. I left a link to it here, as well as in the description below. And if you're enjoying this content so far, please gently tap the like and subscribe buttons to help me out. Okay, so let's answer the question directly. If you want to buy a $51,000 car and not feel financially stretched, you really should be making around $140,000 per year. What this gives you is flexibility, stability, and breathing room. If you make anything less, don't buy it. So what do you do if you absolutely need a car, but don't make enough? Well, the goal isn't to impress people. Instead, it is to stay in control of your finances. Buy a used car, which could be about $25,000. That cuts your total monthly cost to around $900 per month or less. Now suddenly the finances of a car becomes manageable without pressure and giving up on building your rich life. So before you make a purchase of a car, regardless of the price, here are the steps to follow to make sure you're buying responsibly. 1. Ask yourself if you can afford a 20% down payment right away. Calculate this by multiplying the purchase price by 20%. 2. Can I afford the monthly payment and maintenance costs if I took out a loan for 4 years? Calculate this by taking the monthly payment that the dealership quoted you, then add costs for insurance, gas, and maintenance. Then multiply this number by 10, then by 12 to get what your annual salary should be. If this number is less than your annual salary, you can afford it. If it is more, the car is too expensive. If you need help tracking your personal finances, download my free personal finance tracker. I included a link to my website below where you can subscribe to my newsletter and get the free sheet immediately. If you want to know your exact number based on your income and lifestyle, you can use the free personal finance tracker I provided down below in the description at my website, www.stickmanmoney.com. Subscribe to my newsletter, and you'll get access to the tracker absolutely free to help you quantify what you can afford and to track your journey of building your rich life. If you like this, please do me a favor by liking and subscribing to my channel. Here are 2 other videos that will help you build your rich life.